Al-Azhar, the Holy Mosque, is the most imposing of all edifices built by Jawhar, the Sicilian, the founder of the city of Cairo. Across the ages, many lofty and magnificent Islamic buildings were erected around Al-Azhar. According to the criteria of historians and archaeologists, these splendorous buildings are the living proofs of the greatness of the Islamic civilization. Jawhar the Sicilian, professedly ingenious in military sciences, constructed an impenetrable wall around Cairo to protect it against any aggressive raids or invasion. On the northern side of Cairo's wall, there are two gates, Bab al-Nasr and Bab al-Futuh, which are models of the strongest fortificational citadels of medieval ages. Badr al-Jamali has situated the mosque of Al-Hakim Ba'amrillah inside this wall, thus forming an integrated artistic unit. In the year 990 Anno Domini, Al-Hakim Ba'amrillah built his mosque, which had an unprecedented protruding entrance on its facade and two minarets of a frustum pyramidal shape. This mosque is one of the Fatimide rare artistic monuments. On the southern side of the wall, the most beautiful of Cairo's gates is situated, Bab Zuela, which has the popular name of Bab al-Mutwalli. The Mosque of al-Mu'ayyad is adjacent to this gate, which is winged with two towers and crowned with two beautiful minarets of the Mu'ayyad's mosque that replaced a prison where al-Mu'ayyad was interned. There he vowed that if Allah delivereth him out of his predicament and setteth him free, he would build a mosque on the same site of that prison. The mosque is distinguished by its main entrance and its huge gate, which is covered with colored marble and decorated with arcades. The leaf of the door is 6 meters wide, made of wood, and covered with shining brass or botanical star-like ornaments. The ceiling is decorated with designs and contoured with two stripes. The outer one has a black background on which Quranic verses are inscribed in golden Mamlukian Thuluth letters. And the second has a golden background with Quranic verses inscribed in black Kufic letters. The niche of this mosque is covered with multicolored marble, and on its side there is a pulpit inlaid with ivory. Among the most important Islamic complex of monuments forming integrated units is the grand heritage of El Sultan Qunsowa El Ghori, which combines a mosque, a school, a public drinking fountain, a kutab, the Sultan's assembly, and the cemetery. The mosque is widely famous for its square minaret, with its heads which are covered with blue glazed tiles. The guest house building of Al Ghori is one of the best among comparable establishments of the 16th century. In the year 1512 Anno Domini, the Sultan Al Ghori constructed this building, which has an open courtyard and a fountain basin in its center. This courtyard is surrounded by 31 rooms with arched ceilings like vaults. These rooms are situated behind the front of an archway, which was used for exhibiting merchandise. On the second floor, there are 28 rooms connected via an archway. They were used as stores for foreign merchants' goods. Above this second floor, there are two other floors which house 28 independent living quarters, each of which has several rooms scattered on the two floors and connected through internal stairs, exactly as in our most modern architecture. These quarters were used as a guest house for foreign merchants, but now they are studios for artists. The quarters display famous arabesque mashrabiyats. Some of them overlook the courtyard, while others overlook the street. Another style of Islamic architecture is represented by this residential building. Among such beautiful examples is the house of Is-Sahemi, which has two sections. In the year 1648 Anno Domini, one of the richest merchants of Cairo, Abdul Wahab al-Tabalawi, built the first section, which includes the southern side, the high-ceiling oriental hall, and the fine wooden mashrabiyats. In this house, there are also wind towers, which ensure the natural air conditioning inside the building. The harem quarters of the house are finely painted and decorated with the famous verses of al-Busayri's poem Al-Burda. The bathroom of this house is an example of the famous Turkish bath and consists of 2 rooms, one for steam and bathing, the other for drying and relaxation. On Al-Mu'izz al-Din Street and facing the mosque of Nasr Muhammad, the palace of Bashtak is situated. It was constructed by the Prince Bashtak in the year 1338 Anno Domini. Al-Makhrizi, the great and famous historian, portrayed it as one of the greatest buildings of Cairo. Its height allows those who ascend to its upper roof to easily and clearly see all parts of Cairo, including the citadel, the River Nile, and the gardens of El Basatin area. In the year 1744, Anno Domini, Abdul Rahman Kat Khuda, who was fond of the beauty and fine arts, and who renovated many of Islamic buildings, constructed his Sabil, a public drinking fountain, which has 3 fronts. On each one, there are 3 water outlets of colored marble. Each outlet has a brassy window, and above the building, there is a Quranic school, Kuttab, which has shedded terraces and grids carved out of wood. The main front of this Sabil is adorned with the beautiful Islamic decorations, as well as the engraved verses of poetry above the main gate. The gate also bears the name of the owner and the date of construction written in rhyming lines. A sprinkling well supplies the Sabil with cool water, which flows to the taps to quench the thirst of the wayfarers. Times cometh and goeth, epochs succeedeth, but Cairo will stay with these Islamic monuments, bearing witness to the eternal fact, repeating in successive generations' ears, Islamic civilization is real and immortally surviving.